So we record that for the people that can join us today. Even down to the printer that I think would be great for everyone to buy. We had a property management session earlier this morning where I had a few property managers and we spoke about passive income versus active income. And I think that's a great model to go through too, maybe later on. We have a hotel management, quite a big hotel management business now. And I think these would be great for people down the Gold Coast, for example, in Terrigal, holiday areas, Hunter Valley, inner city Melbourne, where we can convert existing properties to hotels in exchange for our management and support. You get a massive chunk of the income. So that's the first thing, maybe to visit this page to get yourself set up. Any passwords you need, please email us for support. The second thing you do is look at the resources page. I get a lot of requests all the time. Where's our business card, templates, all that kind of stuff. It's all in the Google Drive. And so when you log on to the Google Drive, please use your Oxbridge email. Otherwise, it will be denied access to you. So what you have to do is go back to the google.com and log in through your Google account, as I'm doing right now. So you log in. This is just for the Oxbridge members. And you will see we have a whole bunch of stuff on here. So I usually go into folder 1. And for the template, they've got tons of stuff here. You've got your license, our insurance policy, just in case you need it. We cover all our agents with 2 types of insurance, indemnity and professional liability. We have a expression of interest form. There's an agent template that you can use to list your listings. People ask for the high resolution logo. These are logos right here you can download. There's business card templates, PDF and Photoshop formats. There's letter drops you can use. You can change them to your desire. So these are where you find all the resources. Obviously, you can obviously order your business cards, or we can order them for you. And then you've got templates. There's tons of stuff you can do. Prospecting templates, listing templates. How do you get VPA? Success plans, checklists. There's a lot of stuff in here. We are a member of Tom Panos's training program. So everyone has access to Tom Panos. Everything here, this is more scripts, more dialogues. This is from Tom, the Tom Hector, one of the best agents down in Adelaide. So it's very, very what his strategies and how he lists properties. And these are the things that we give you to help you obviously list. We do have a lot of leads. I think I texted quite a lot of leads this morning to different agents and areas. So these are very, very useful. And then obviously the idea is to use the leads and then list it and obviously sell it. There's a few apps that we use as well. It's quite useful for you. Have a look at these apps. Some are free. Further reading and then training and other stuff. So this folder here is very, very good for those people that have just joined us, because there's a lot of templates in here. If you're new to real estate, there's a lot of things in here that you might want to have a look at. There's a few training sessions we've already done, such as, how do you use RP data? How do you prospect for rentals? How do you do contracts? How do you do listing documentation? How do you use HomePass? Many, many things on this folder. You can look at the video. It's all pre-recorded. So that's a good way to start. So I highly recommend this resource drive, and it gets added all the time. We have a session, for example, on how do you do watermarking? How do you remove watermarks on photographs? That's quite a good session. Anyway, so that's the first page that you may want to visit, your agent resource page. It's all on there. Which is a very useful page to visit. The second thing you might want to do is to browse the agent's marketing page. So the agent's marketing page is, we use quite a few suppliers, and because of our size, we can negotiate a bulk discount. And I think I met the director of Digital Central recently, and he's given us the cheapest price for pictures and for signboards. You can browse these things. There's 2 things you can do. You can buy your own products, or you can buy on behalf of a vendor. So, for example, if you were to do a listing and then you want to check prices, you can go to the resource page. There's actually a document in there with all the marketing prices. You can print that off, or what I usually do is I try to save paper and I bring my little iPad and I show them, for example, if you want to get professional photography, you can order yourself or I can order it for them. It's as cheap as $99 for 10 pictures. And I've said this many times before, we have Afterpay, which is phenomenal. I love Afterpay. It's very, very big now. And Afterpay has been a huge part of our business for over a month and a half. And Afterpay is now involved in hotels. It's involved in marketing, a lot of things. So this is the second thing you might want to come along. If you want to order A-frames or anything like that, you come here and you obviously you can order A-frames. And then what happens then is we'll send it directly to the supplier. We don't make any money on these. We do have an Afterpay as well, which helps you pay in full installments interest-free. And so you can also do that too. So it's just the second thing you might want to visit. Get flags. You can do letter drops. As I said to someone recently, because the number of agents we have, we're able to negotiate a very cheap price for letter drops, much cheaper than you can get retail. And that's the whole point, I guess, of having a big agency behind you. One of the questions I asked recently was, how do I find out on upgrades? How do I get a premier listing or a feature or even a highlight? Very easy. You come here, you go to realestate.com, and then you look at your suburb, and that should be all for you. So I think one of the agents from on the Gold Coast recently asked me this question: how do I find out how much to upgrade? Very easy. Come here, click continue, and then, for example, I can find out how much does it cost on in the Surfers Paradise area to get an upgrade listing. It shows it to you. All right. So you pass on these prices off to the vendor. Obviously, what you can do is also get them to use Afterpay on that too. So obviously, they don't have to pay the whole thing up front. So that's the second thing you probably want to do. The third thing you probably want to do is then to look at I've been trying to push this actually. We had a meeting this morning on this website. Personally, I think this is a phenomenal market, and I think it's not going to cannibalize our existing agency market. There's a lot of demand for sell by owners and for rent by owner. I think this is a great business. I think there are different type of clients. I think people that use for sell by owners or for rent by owner websites is a very, very price sensitive customer. That's okay. That's okay. We can capture that market too. A lot of people refuses to work with agents. For example, I have a lot of developer friends that don't sell anything through agents because they don't want to pay commission. That's not a problem. We can capture that market, and obviously, if you were to list through these services, we share the commission with you, 50% of the gross price of the listing, either for sale by rentals or commercial or business sales. So I think that's a good thing too. So then after you browse your website, after you set yourself up, the next big thing is obviously RP data and your CRM. Before I go into that, though, we had a meeting this morning. I think this is something phenomenal, something that's different. I think no real estate agency at the moment does this, and that's to offer a property management portfolio, a income stream that's passive, where you can build your rental role. And then, this document in the resource folder outlines this. Now, we have a training session also pre-recorded. I'm happy to do another one, or my senior property manager can do one too, where we can go through the forms. Each different state is different. We have different software, but essentially it's the same. You have to list a property, we manage the property, and then obviously we get a commission. The three things we do are outlined in the document as well. And I think that's quite rare, where a salesperson can be a property manager and vice versa, building a portfolio that you can live on. So we also manage, and this is a big thing for us now, hotel and short-term management. It's a phenomenal growth sector for us. If you go to places like Surfers Paradise and, inner city, apartment blocks in Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, you will find there's a lot of these currently going on. And this is very, very lucrative. I think our calculation this morning is something like per apartment for one bedroom, we're making $1,000 to $1,500 per month per unit on the upside. That's pretty good. This is something that you can definitely look at. We'll do another training session on how to prospect property management. You can bring the listing and then we'll manage it for you in exchange for your equity. So you own the equity, obviously sharing the commission structure depending on how we manage it. So that's another thing too. Okay. So that's the setup. That's briefly the setup. So the first thing is to look at obviously these 4 buttons, 4 things here. Next thing I want to do is do the CRM. Now, the CRM, look at those. We have so many training sessions on CRM. You can request a training session anytime you want. Our CRM is called Eagles. We've looked at many CRMs, AgentBox and quite a few others. The reason why we went for this one is because, and I've said this many times before, automation. Automation is key. My experience is a lot of agents don't get back to their vendors or don't bother calling back the tenants. But with our CRM, everything is automated. Now, you can definitely turn this off. To get a proper training session, I recommend you log in, click on this little icon here, and chat to Samantha. So Samantha is our account manager. If you ask Samantha for a personalized training session, she will definitely give you a training session. There's really not that much to the CRM. It's actually quite easy to do. To list a property, you basically select what type of properties you want to list. As I said before, we're a little bit different. We have access to hotels.com, bookings.com, whatif.com, all these other websites, because I think that's a phenomenal growth sector. So if you list a holiday rating, that goes onto these websites, and as well as Airbnb. And Air Sorted will manage that for us. So you can do all kinds of listings, business listings, land, commercial. We have all the websites, commercialrealestate.com, real commercial, etc. The only thing I probably want to show you, just to be a little bit more efficient, is the automation part, which I think is really cool. So this is by default the automation, and I've seen a lot of CRMs, like for example ReNet. I've seen it's just terrible, ReNet, but it's so antique. Nothing against ReNet, but I've done a trial with ReNet. But this Eagles is built just for us, and the automation is very cool because I've set it up so, for example, I can have an auction reminder. I share to my Facebook page and my Twitter and my Instagram every time I list something. Inspection attendees, if someone comes over and puts in the details through HomePass, which you should already have, or the CRM, their details gets recorded. For my automation, 4 hours later, they get a text from me or an email to say, thank you for coming to the open home. Any feedback, please call me. Something like that. That's to prevent people forgetting to call back their buyers. And as you know, agents are very busy people. So, obviously this automation saves a lot of work. Also, this one here is quite good. New income inquiry. I find a lot of people, a lot of agents don't bother responding to inquiries from realestate.com or domain. Understandable, because obviously we get a lot of emails a day. I have 100-something listings. I cannot possibly sit there and email every single person back with a pre-customized text. So what I do is I set up an email inquiry automatically responding to the tenant or the buyer with a standard text, and you can program this too. I often program, thank you for inquiry, dear first name, in brackets, thank you for inquiry, this is a great property, and I go about the property description, and I customize this for every single property, either rental or a sale, and I say the asking price is this, open home is this. And that's what I do. So there's a few things here. This one is quite good too. There's someone in the background. Okay, sorry about that. There's someone in the background making noise, so I can't hear. That's okay. Another one I do, this one here. upcoming inspections. So.
Oh, someone's got to unmute their microphone.
Who can you guys turn over your microphone? Someone's I will. Okay. So can you guys hear me? So this one here, I was saying, this is a great one. So notifying upcoming inspections. What happens is, if you turn that on, every single person that's inquiring on the property, either the rental or sales, gets notified on the upcoming time for the inspection. And that's phenomenal, because I think that's a very, very good automation to have. Price reduction, anniversary of the purchaser, on email gets sent automatically to the purchaser on the anniversary, and also another one for birthdays as well, and another one for anniversary for the wedding. And that keeps in contact, obviously, with the buyer. This is a big one that I do. I find a lot of people don't bother contacting their landlords or vendors on a Monday. And, for whatever reason, but what I do is at least I send an email to them to tell them that this many people have been through. Automatically, we attach the realestate.com, domain.com reports. So at least they get something. Because one of the reasons why a lot of landlords or vendors hate agents is lack of communication. So anyway, so that's another thing too. When the property is let, that's another one too. I tell them, look, thank you for your interest in this property. We have another property down the road, at this link, please check it out. And that's another automation I've set up. So the great thing about this software is automation. And the whole model of the company, I suppose, is built on technology. We don't need a fancy office or anything like that. We just need great software and great communication with our clients. So that's the thing about software for the CRM. And then obviously you can go through these yourself. We can book in brochures as well. You can do your own brochures as well, print your own brochures off. You have a trust accounting module. You can keep your contacts in here, calendars. So everything that you have in Open Home is synced to your Google Calendar. And if your iPhone or Android is set up, obviously you can see that on your calendar. When the open homes are. So that's the CIM in a nutshell. I'll try and leave more time for Q&A. The next one is RP Data. There's a few people online I think are brand new to real estate. If you've never used RP Data or Price Finder before, RP Data is your best friend. So we have the full national subscription to RP Data. We have quite a lot of users on it. You can find every single address in the country on the software. Now, the idea for RP Data is obviously look up your information on the vendor, but also prospecting. And I've done a training session before, and I say, prospect, because that is the lifeblood of industry, whether you're a property manager or a salesperson. And I think what we do a lot is these three buttons down here. I had another session recently where we did a driving map using the CSV file of these three buttons, and then paying someone either to door knock or door knock ourselves to find a lead for new rentals or new sales. And that's gold. That's 100% gold, especially OTMs on the market, listing over 60 days. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock, I will be with an agent, and we will be literally door knocking together. I'm going to show this new agent, great personality, great guy, absolutely no experience in real estate, but I think he will do very well. We're going to attack these ones here. And it's guaranteed to be something because obviously it's on the market. It's been over 60 days and, for whatever reason it hasn't sold. We just need to get in there in front of the vendors and pitch to them that we are a different company. We don't charge any marketing up front. We don't charge $3,000 to list a premium listing. There's no need. Give us a chance and we'll sell an open listing. We can charge any commission we want, right? Unlike other agencies, there's no prescribed commission that you have to charge. So that's something that I think is quite key. Now, RP Data runs a lot of training sessions too. So, I'm not going to go in depth into RP Data, but we've definitely done a lot of training sessions before on how you prospect using RP Data. So one of the things I did this morning just to give you an example, I'm right now very, very keen on hotel management. It is such a great market, There's no agency out there I can think of that is doing hotel management. I don't even know why, because you can convert easily a property into a hotel. And this is the example that we can use in RP Data. I can go to any apartment block, because this is one of the apartment blocks we're currently managing at the moment, and I can see the owner's name, address, and sometimes even the phone number, right? And all I have to do is either send a letter or go and door knock them and say, dear Mr. Whitfield, you own an apartment at 2218 Tank Street. How much are you getting currently a month? $450. That's rubbish. We can beat that. We're the only agency in town that we can manage a hotel. We'll guarantee the rent if you want. We'll make the upside. Right? So we'll guarantee him, say, $600 a month, and we'll make the rest. And it's 100% no liability to us because we have an agreement with Air Sorted, which charges them 10% for the laundry, for the cleaning, for the tea and coffee. So they manage the hotel back end. We manage the front end with the client. And I think that's a phenomenal model. And as I said before, many, many times, you own the equity of that rental you bring in. And I think that's very innovative, salespeople doing rentals and vice versa. So we have a team of people behind the rental management people that does all the accounting and trust and receipting, all that kind of stuff. So that's the next thing you probably want to do is to look through the RP Data, things like, I'll give you a good example. A lot of people are having very difficult times to find leads, but this is where you find leads, especially the listing over 60 days and the find leads button. I can type in any suburb, so I pick one, and then you'll see there's tons of leads that RP Data gives you, especially for Melbourne. You just type it in and you'll see a whole bunch of leads that RP Data gives you that are the properties that are more likely to sell than not, and that are going to be on the market. So what you do is you obviously send a letter to these people, or you door knock them, find them, or call them. I was saying to someone today, we have a contract with Australia Post. I can send a letter probably much cheaper than anyone else because of volume. We send so many letters out to people. And I think these days, because of the do not call register, because of privacy legislation, it's more difficult to call people. So the only way to reach people really is by mail or to visit them, either as a rental or to sell. So that's something that we've done quite a lot as well. And so I think, with that, what else? What's on the agenda? Are there any questions so far? Anyone?
There's so many tools with RP Data you can use. It's great.
Yeah. Is that, who's that? Sorry. Who's that? I can't recognize your voice. Sorry.
Your buddy, Raj.
Right. Hey, Raj. Hi, mate. Yeah. So RP Data is great. It's something that we use a lot. And obviously you can, what I do a lot, we have another session on this too. You can export this as a CSV. And this is gold. You have to export this as a CSV. Everyone gets 10,000 a month. I think it's a lot. And what I do with the CSV file is I either send a letter to them, and on the resource file, I do have a letter that prescribes what we send to people to get listings, and there's a template on there. So this is what I do. I take the CSV file and I can, put it into a mail merge, and I send it to people. That's what we do. Any other questions before I go on?
Send by email as well. I'm Michael.
Hey, Michael.
Yes, how are you? Can we send by email as well?
The problem in real estate is we don't have the email address of the vendor or the landlord. So a lot of the times we have to go and find that. And it's a very difficult thing sometimes. One of the recent campaigns we've done is to find someone Airtasker. And I was doing this last Saturday with 2 agents. I find someone Airtasker, pay $100, 50 letters to be dropped off at the front porch. And I said to them, look, if you can do this and get their name, their email address, and their phone number, I'll pay you double. Instead of $2 a letter, I'll pay you $4 a letter. because that's what you have to do, right? I know where they live, but I don't know their email addresses or their phone number. So the idea, and last week I think it was quite hot. So I was his agent in the coffee shop, and I said to him, look, I don't want to do this, nor do you. Let's get some guy on airtime. So we did it. $100, 50 letters, easy money for them. And I said to them, if you could get us some leads, some email address, and do a knocking, $4. And they got us 5 leads, 5 phone numbers, and 5 emails. And we made sure that they got a driving map on Google Maps, so they knew exactly where to go. And then we made sure the listings we give them were OTM, so hot listings over 60 days, which we knew there was going to be a listing anyway. Does that answer your question, Michael?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Any more questions before we go on? Okay, cool. So I guess, the basics are fairly simple. It's just designed to do an orientation on the different software. We have a lot of software. I can't remember last time. We had something like 18 different pieces of software we subscribe to. Another big one that we do is DocuSign. DocuSign is becoming much bigger for us now. Now, on different states have different forms. So I'm just going to take Queensland. I'm in Queensland, but I can also do New South Wales, not a problem. And then we have Victoria as well. So look, this is IEI forms. So you should have access to. In Queensland, we use RealWorks. In New South Wales, we use IEI forms. There's no reason why. It's just easier for us that way. So this is our New South Wales forms. Quickly, just to show you, a lot of people said to me, is it worthwhile getting an auctioneer's license or a license in a different state? And my answer is 100% yes. I don't know if you know this. Once you get a license in one state, then you can go for mutual recognition in another state very, very cheaply. I have a listing today, I had a lead today at Tweed Head. Unfortunately, a lot of my agents down there only has a Queensland license, so they cannot sell or rent in New South Wales. And so I think it would be good to get a license in multiple states too. Same with an auctioneer's license. It only costs a little extra money to be also registered as an auctioneer. Oxbridge has an auctioneer's license as well, so you can become an auctioneer if you wish. So this software here basically is forms. So you got forms for your, New South Wales, let's use Queensland, for example. Okay, this is yours, I can see. All right, can I have a look at contract? Raheem, is that cool? All right, Raheem has done a good job, about to close this, about to sell this on Sunday. Congratulations. 2 pieces of land, combined value of about $3 million. Very, very good job. So what this is basically is just a software that allows you to do contracts. We have many, many, many forms. So you go to, on the template section, there's a few templates. If you want to do property management, you've never done it before, it's actually not that difficult. All you have to do is make sure your listing documentation is correct. Same in New South Wales. Just make sure your listing documentation is correct. Your property management agreement is correct, the percentages are correct, signed, initialed by every single vendor or landlord, and the rest is pretty easy. So the way to use this software is there's a few options. You can either start a new software, and this is Queensland. In Queensland, we have full access to pretty much every single type of sale, and I think in Queensland at least, we've just had DocuSign installed as part of the software. But I think in New South Wales and Victoria, that's been there for a little while. And you can sign using DocuSign, but we also do have a DocuSign full account, which means we can sign, general tenancy forms, we can sign rooming agreements, we can sign, listing agreements, auction forms, whatever. We also use entry reports. We sign DocuSign using entry reports, that kind of stuff. So look, it's pretty easy. So in Queensland, it's called Form 6. So you click on this, and then you click on New, Description, New Form 6, and then where you go. Okay, so it pre-populates the account details and all that kind of stuff. a trust account and all that information onto the form for you. The other alternative is to use the template. And we've got quite a few templates sitting around. So if you look at templates, there's, for example, this one here, a sample contract, house, and land. So you can use this one here. Create a form for the template. I don't know, sale of bundle. And then, it's pre-populated. So blah, blah, blah. And then, so you can fill in the details of sellers, the vendors, and all that kind of stuff. If you're new to real estate, you find this on RP Data. There's actually another training session specifically just on contracts in different states. So different states have different regulations. In New South Wales, for example, the lawyers does all the contracts. You won't have to touch them. If you're doing business sales, the advice from my lawyer is to get the lawyers to do them. Don't do the business sales contract yourself because it's quite complicated. But in Queensland at least, the contract from house and land and the contract for community title is different. Recently I had an agent that used the wrong contract. And this particular agent had to re-sign the whole contract again. So lawyers will definitely not accept that. So the house or land is for house and land, obviously, and then there's another contract called community title, which is for apartments or strata titles somewhere, like this one. What is that one? Like, I'll show you one that's blank. There's a lot. This one here is a contract form. So for those people in Queensland, this is for community title schemes. So do not use the wrong contract, otherwise the lawyers will not accept the contract that you've drawn up. We do have something called snippets. And this is the same for New South Wales, Victoria, and other states, which allows you to insert clauses into the contract. And you'll find snippets somewhere up here. There you go, snippets, right? So you click that, you create the snippets yourself, and then you insert that. Common snippets include something like sunset clauses or due diligence clauses, all that kind of stuff. But these are special conditions that we insert into the contract to make sure that we protect both the buyer and the seller. So that's the forms. And any other questions with that? Oh, yeah, there's a question here. Does the draft come off? Yes, definitely. You do not want to. I had some guy that did that present a contract and a draft on it. The lawyers will have a field day. They'll say, look, what are you? Are you an experienced agent? Yeah, look, don't have that, and obviously your contract needs to be finalized with no draft watermark on it. The way to do that is to lock it, finalize. This button here is very, very important. In New South Wales and Victoria, same thing, you need to obviously finalize the contract. And once you finalize the contract, there will be no draft. Yeah, please don't do that. Obviously, once you send it to the lawyers for execution, they're not going to like that very much. That's the problem. So yeah, look, this is what you do it. I have never ever, believe it or not, in the past 6 months signed a contract physically, or a tenancy agreement, or a Form 6. Actually, no, that's not true. Form 6 I've done, but I've always used DocuSign. For me these days, time is precious. I don't want to be running around like crazy in the hot weather. So what I do is I send it. We've done a lot of DocuSigns together. We send a DocuSign to the vendor or the buyer, and say to them, look, please sign this contract, and come and send it back to us. DocuSign is great. The thing about DocuSign, and this is what the lawyers tell us, initials are not required if signed with electronic signature. So, they don't have to sign every single page on the bottom, initial it. That includes a listing document or a tenancy or any document. They just have to sign 2 spots, and then it becomes an executed contract.
Did you have to sign it? The DocuSign?
No, DocuSign is part of the package now. We have DocuSign every single software, Victoria, every single state. Then another thing is make sure you use the right trust account, because I have people that deposit money into a rentals account, but it's a sales. That would confuse my trust accountant. I have a guy sitting in Sydney. His job is to make sure that the money comes in, it's receipted, and it's paid correctly to the right people. So, he's going to match up, what's in your software with what's been deposited. So if he cannot trace that, then it creates a problem for us. As I say, running a trust account is serious business, because I get audited randomly by Fair Trading, by my accountant, to make sure that we're okay. I certainly don't want to go to prison for taking money from my holiday to Greece or something, right? But look, it's serious business, and that's something that we do all the time, just to make sure the right money is going to the right trust account. There's 2 trust accounts in every single state, one for sales, one for rentals, by law. And we have that. So yeah, that's the software, I guess, for the listing. And then obviously there's a lot of things you could do, and there's a few new people on the call today, but real estate is absolutely massive. There's so much things you can do to make money. Rentals is just for starters. There's commercial sales that we haven't really talked about. We've got a lot of commercial sales at the moment. We're selling a site at the moment. It's a listing for $75 million. A 5% commission. Imagine the money on that. It's about $1 million something. So one sale, you can retire, man. There's so many things you can do in real estate. There's business sales as well. We're selling a fish and chip shop in different parts of the state. We're selling a restaurant. We're selling a coffee shop. There's many things you can definitely do. One of the things that we do a lot, however, is contact with developers. I was showing someone this morning, I think what we should do, everyone should do this, is to go to the local developer network. There's certainly one in Brisbane. There's a lot of these things. There's property development. You go to meetup.com, get the app. There's Melbourne property developers, 1,364 members. Why? Developers are great, right? Developers are easy source of listings, number one. And if you're lucky, you might even get a few rentals out of these guys, because what developers do is they want people to manage it for them. If they like you, and I think we have something very unique to offer, we can manage in any way we want. We can do a rooming, we can do hotels, whereas other agents are just general tenancies, one contract, one tenant, one property. It's boring, it's low yield, whereas with hotels and rooming increases yield significantly. And that's what I've been saying to a lot of people. Maybe go to a property development meetup or get a few connections, that kind of stuff. They're just easy listings. We don't care if it's an open listing. It's okay. And as I said before, a lot of times, I can put you on realestate.com for free, no charge. We can pay for everything up front. It's not a problem. And that's to help everyone get listings. I'm trying to keep it short because I realize it's an hour. Is there any other questions? Burning questions?
Yeah. Hi, Paul. This is Jerry. I just want to know how can I log into the DocuSign and the RealWorks?
Okay. I had a question this morning. How do I log into RealWorks too?
Yeah. Because I don't have I try to Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for RealWorks, look, it's very, very easy, right? You just have to send if you really cannot log in, send an email to support. But RealWorks and their IEA forms, if you go to realworks.com, you can forget my password, right?
Mm-hmm.
Use your Oxbridge email address, and that email address should come to you. If your email address is not recognized, it means something's happened to your account. Maybe you've tried too many attempts, got locked out. Send an email to support. I've got my team sitting in Bangalore waiting for emails, right? And they will respond in 5 hours to reset your password.
Okay, even for the DocuSign as well.
DocuSign is a little bit different. So we pay a lot of money for DocuSign, the actual software. But for RealWorks, because RealWorks has DocuSign, so you feel free to use DocuSign on RealWorks. But if you want a specific document sent, like for example an entry report, then what you have to do is probably email that document to support, and then we'll email that to the tenant or the client or whatever. So it's a little bit different because not every single document supports DocuSign at the moment on RealWorks. You can see this for yourselves. Not every single one. Yeah. So does that answer your question?
Also,
Yeah.
for the CRM as well, I just I tried to log into the CRM, but let's say there is like it's the wrong password or username. So there's something wrong, or I need.
Yep. So you either forget your password to see what the real password is, or send an email to support, and they'll reset it for you. Sometimes if you try to log in too many times, sometimes logging too many times, then it will lock itself out for security purposes. And that's another thing. Sorry, thanks for reminding me. Our email system is very secure. We have Google. A lot of people ask me, a few months ago, can you please reset my password? The reason is very simple. If you start logging in multiple times, Google will lock you out. And Google now has implemented compulsory two-factor authentication. In other words, you're gonna get a text or something like that, and then that's for security. Absolutely for security. But if that happens, send an email to support, and then hopefully the guys will get back to you within 5 hours. Any other questions?
No, that's it. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay. So lastly, I just want to quickly go through one thing. Obviously, if you're new, the first thing is to get listings. Now, I do send a lot of leads to people, and I try to work out a system where I can collect these leads and doing a structured form. Right now, it's just texting people. I think texting is probably the easiest because I make sure that you get the listing and you call the actual vendors. But look, if you haven't got no experience in API Data, then you probably want to. This is a listing. I think this listing is Lindsay. Are you on the line? So, Lindsay, this is your listing. $4.2 million house that we just got this morning. Now, so this is on Nerang down on the Gold Coast. Again, you need to. So obviously, the aim is to get into the door. So get into the door, and you do a CMA. You do a CMA on these people. So the problem with API, so API Data definitely has a better format than Pricefinder. But the thing is, sometimes you just have to be very, very careful because the number given to you by API Data is definitely wrong. So I know this number is definitely wrong because I've spoken to the vendor. This is an old house. They trashed the house and built a big mansion on it. So it's just about techniques. If you go into a listing, quite often I don't have the actual price on the CMA, or if I do have it, I don't show it to the vendor just in case the vendors want a bit more, and I might upset the vendor. If I present this number to the vendor and it's a completely different house and they're expecting 4.2 million, they will be like, thank you very much, see you later, next station. So, it's just little tips and tricks and stuff like that, which we cover in other sessions too for listing. And the same thing for rentals too. We were doing a rental session this morning, and rentals is the same thing. Obviously we can probably beat the general tenancy rental amount. But again, you just have to be careful what you promise your landlords. If you say, I'm going to give you a guaranteed return of $800 a month, and you don't get that, well, someone has to pay for the $800, right? Yes, it's a very, very good market if you get $2,000 a month, but if you can't get that, that's a problem. Anyway, so that's pretty much it for this session. Nice and quick, runs you through the general software we have. And obviously, look, as people list and sell more properties, there'll be more questions, and we might run more training sessions. But there's a lot of things to cover in real estate. And there's an app called HomePass that we use. Everyone should have access to HomePass now. It's an app you must download. You can also download the CRM app. That's another thing. Eagles has an app. It's very, very rare for a CRM to be on an app. I know RENET certainly doesn't have it. Nor some other software. So, allows you to check in as well, allows you to change the listing. I've had situations where I had to cancel an inspection and, I'm outside, I don't have access to the computer. You get your app, you can cancel the inspections using the app. That's quite a good thing. I guess that's pretty much it. So, so if you have any questions, any support issues, send an email support or call me. or anyone else, Deanna, looks after some of the administration side of things too. So, yeah, any questions, any burning questions before we go? From anyone? There's a lot of people online. Anyone here? Any questions? Cool. Any questions? All right. Okay. So, yeah. So, call me individually if you want to have a chat. But I will try and, I think our job here is to get as many listings as possible for our agents, whether it be rentals or for sales. As we grow bigger and bigger, we'll definitely put more people onto Prospect and to get leads for everyone. And I think that's a unique thing that we offer. A lot of people understand that agencies usually do not give leads or listings to the agent 100%, but we do. Okay. On that note, I wish you a very good weekend and have a great day today. And any questions, let me know. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye now.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thank you, Paul.
See you later.